Am I the only one that wondered what it'd be like to have a super form growing up? Not a super sand form, a super form from the Sonic the Hedgehog series. The ability to move at unimaginable speeds, extreme strength, and insane durability. What it'd feel like to have chaos energy run through your body. Speaking of chaos energy, what is it exactly? What kind of mythical energy do the Chaos Emeralds contain, and why does Eggman want it so badly? G'day everyone, I'm the FizzWiz, and that is what I'm going to be trying to find out today. Real quick before we get started on this, I'm aware of the theory video that MadPad over on the Game Theorist channel had uploaded that goes into theory on the Chaos Emeralds. You should go check it out and support the Game Theorist if you don't already. However, his video goes into the type of gem that the Chaos Emeralds appear to be. What I plan on going into consists of the energy they contain and how it all fits into the lore of the Sonic universe. Also, I'm going primarily focus on the lore of the games rather than the lore within the comics or the anime, seeing as both are discontinued. Now you might be looking at your screens right now and going, Fizz, we already know what it is. It's chaos energy. Just read the Sonic wiki. And to be honest, yes, that is correct. The type of energy contained within the Chaos Emeralds is canonically known as Chaos Energy. However, what I want to find out is what exactly Chaos Energy is and what role it plays in the Sonic lore. Oh yeah, that means I'm applying my findings and research to inconsistencies and plot holes in some of the games. I'm looking at you, Sonic the Hedgehog 2006! I actually like 06. Don't get me wrong, it's an extremely bad game, but I like it. There's just something about the glitches. I just find it funny. First things first, we need to know what Chaos Energy is and what it can do in order to compare it to anything else we find in the real world or other parts of fiction to get an idea of what it is and how it works. So to quickly recap 26 years of Sonic history, Chaos Energy is known to do the following: power machinery, supercharge machinery, initiate a super form, travel through as well as manipulate time and space, provide an assortment of chaos attacks, and finally, bring the dead back to life. I'm looking at you again, Sonic 06. Don't think I didn't notice that cutscene. That was gross. It's like it's an old meme. Okay, just it's gross. Don't do that ever again, Sonic. Ugh. The user of the Chaos Emeralds can use almost any of these abilities with at least one Chaos Emerald by the use of Chaos Control. It's right here that we get our first clue to solving the mystery of the Emeralds. Within the universes of Marvel and DC Comics, as well as a few other forms of fictional media, there is an ability called Chaos Manipulation, and the abilities that come with it are quite similar to that of Sonic's Chaos Control. Chaos Control, or Chaos Manipulation, do just as the name suggests. It allows the user to manipulate the chaotic energies within the universe. What can you do with the chaos energy being manipulated, you may ask? Well, besides the things that I listed earlier, a whole slew of options are opened up for our favorite hedgehog. Imagine the entire fabric of reality. Now imagine being able to change whatever you want about it. This is the basic idea of what chaos energy can do. The actual chaos energy can be described by what chaos itself is. The Greek god, or goddess, depending on who you ask, Chaos, was a being that existed before reality itself did. It gave birth to many gods and goddesses, and shortly after, reality itself followed. Some scripts of mythology suggest that chaos is not only a being, but a place between earth and heaven. However, in today's terms, it could possibly mean that it is also a place between the dimensions of time and space, seeing as chaos is commonly referred to as the void, which is a term used to describe a space that lacks space itself. Chaos by nature is unpredictable. It doesn't follow our rules of reality, because by definition, chaos is literally the absence of rules or laws. The way chaos is described in the philosophical and mathematical idea of chaos theory is strikingly similar. The idea of the butterfly effect isn't new to science fiction or science reality. As the saying goes, a butterfly's wing flap in Brazil could cause a tornado in Texas. This basically states that minor changes to a working system will for a fact cause major changes in how that system works. The changes may start out small at first, but with time they will change into something more noticeable. However, it should be noted that this theory is utilized to make predictions as well. There's always an underlying pattern that can be found after said minor changes are made to the system. Just think back to the guy in Jurassic Park movie, how he explained it by dripping water onto that girl's hand. It kind of works like that. I always thought that character was weird. He's just, I think it's his look. I don't get it. It's just, I think that guy's kind of weird. He's especially weird in the second movie. But anyway. So by using all of these descriptions of chaos, what do we get when applying it to the cosmic energy version of chaos? Well, we don't know. Chaos in its purest form is an alien idea to beings such as ourselves. We're restricted by the laws of our universe, so to experience true chaos is something we'll most likely never get to do. Chaos is everything that isn't. It exists, yet it is nothing at the same time. I know that doesn't make sense, but that's the point. We can give the idea of chaos a human description to give us an idea of what chaos can be, but it's ultimately something we can't completely comprehend. While this isn't a source from the video games, they do utilize chaos control like this in the Archie comic crossover between Sonic and Mega Man. Dr. Eggman and Dr. Wily use the power of chaos control to create a pocket dimension between their worlds that has its own rules separate from their own realities. Afterwards, they then use the Chaos Emeralds to completely rewrite time however they see fit. It even sparked a complete reboot in the Archie series shortly after that crossover ended. So if the Chaos Emeralds contain the essence of chaos energy and all that comes with it, what does that mean for Sonic? Well, for one, it makes the super forms all that much more dangerous. Ever wonder why Super Sonic is impervious to damage? Well, it's because he simply doesn't exist while existing at the same time. Ever wonder why the characters in the Sonic universe refer to Super Sonic as a completely separate character despite him just being a powered up version of Sonic? Well, it's because he is a completely separate entity from Sonic. It's like taking the very concept of chaos itself and applying it to a living thing. This can explain a few things about some holes within Sonic's lore. Ever wonder why the Time Eater couldn't touch the Chaos Emeralds in Generations despite the fact that the Time Eater is literally a being that can manipulate and move space-time? What about Solaris? This being supposedly exists outside of reality, yet the Hedgehogs in their super form are able to deal damage to the multi-dimensional god. Speaking of those six, did you ever wonder or notice how the only parts of reality that Solaris hadn't eaten yet were parts that the Chaos Emeralds happened to be in? Is that a plot hole or a coincidence? It's probably a plot hole, but I'm trying to explain it in a way. Anyway, that's what this theory's about. Well, what about Sonic Adventures or Sonic Unleashed? If the power that the emeralds contain are so limitless, how can they be drained in these games? And to that I say, that's a good question. I also say, did you ever notice how the emeralds were drained by a massive being or machine? What if the emeralds aren't batteries like we tend to believe they are, but rather a means to conduct universal chaos energy into our own reality? Have you ever seen the outlet to an electrical stove? It's quite differently shaped than the outlet that you plug your phone into every day. That's because the outlet and the electrical wiring for the stove has been modified to conduct the proper amounts of electricity to it. If you were to plug an electrical stove to a regular outlet, or simply have too many things plugged into an outlet, you will end up tripping the breaker, and cutting off all power to that outlet. The same could be said for the emeralds. If Perfect Chaos or Eggman's laser that destroyed the world tried to pull too much energy out of the emeralds all at once, then it theoretically shut down the emeralds, cutting off their contact with the chaos energy within the universe. It kind of acts as a failsafe, if that makes sense. This could also explain why the Super Emeralds allow Sonic and Knuckles to go into their hyperforms. It's like comparing a garden hose you've connected to your house to a fire hose connected to a fire hydrant. It simply lets Sonic pull out more chaos energy in order to supercharge his super form. This could also explain why Tails couldn't at least turn into super form without them. Perhaps Tails didn't have the ability to pull enough chaos energy out of the emeralds without the Super Emeralds. Now, I can't say that this comparison is fact, of course. This is just speculation and comparing the emeralds to a real-life scenario and concept. If any of this were to be true in the Sonic universe, like it is in other forms of fiction, mythology, and philosophy, then that means that Super Sonic, Shadow, and Silver could possibly be some of the strongest video game characters there is. Well, if this is true, then why don't Sonic, Shadow, and Silver use these abilities more often, you may ask? And that's another good question. But to answer that is a bit dark. having these abilities come with some major drawbacks. There's a reason chaos energy stays where it is in the universe. As I said before, chaos is a concept that mortals' minds cannot truly grasp. Overexposure to chaos energy, or the overuse of chaos manipulation, can cause the user to be driven insane. Another example of this in the comics would be Fleetway Supersonic. Fleetway is, well, he's a sadistic little bastard to say the least. According to the Sonic Wiki, Fleetway Sonic is supersonic and a psychotic demon-like entity who manifests himself in Sonic's body under conditions of extreme stress or exposure to chaos energy. The article goes on to say that Fleetway's immense destructive power, hyper-aggression, sadistic humor, and lack of restraint frequently endangers innocent villains and even Sonic's own friends. Like I said before, the lore within the Archie comics cannot be considered canon in the video games. It wouldn't be far-fetched to say that they at least hold similarities in both this example and the example shared earlier with Eggman and Wily. While I can't say for certain as to whether or not this theory is true, I can safely say that there is a lot of similarities between Sonic's version of Chaos Control, contained within the Emeralds, and the form of Chaos Energies in other forms of fiction. While I've run out of time for this episode, I will be carrying this concept over to other videos to try and piece together Sonic's lore. And hey, I'm not only going to be doing Sonic theories, I'll take requests on other franchises as well. Sonic is my favorite video game franchise, but there are just so many others I'd love to touch on, so just send me in requests. I'll love to take a look at them. Hey everybody, it's a FizzWiz. Thank you for making it all the way to the end if you did. Like I said before, this is, for one, just a theory. I don't necessarily think it's fact, but I really do believe that it would be a great way to explain away some of the, the plot holes and such within Sonic's lore and stuff. Because, to be honest, whenever I started looking into it and started comparing the similarities between the Chaos Control and Sonic's universe and the Chaos Control and other universes, I realized that, there were a lot of similarities between the two. And just by comparing how the Chaos Emeralds work to real life, I made a whole lot of connections here that just really made sense within Sonic's universe. At least it does to me. I really want to know what you guys think about it, and if there's anything majorly that I, missed out on, let me know. I think there was one thing for a fact I know that I missed out on. It was the fact that Perfect Chaos not only absorbed all the energy out of the Chaos Emerald, supposedly he absorbed all the negative energy, and Sonic absorbed the positive energy, which I don't know if that's, supposed to be taken seriously, or just another one of those, super power of friendship things within the Sonic lore, but I know this one thing that I wasn't exactly able to explain away, so if you guys perhaps have an explanation based on what I've given, I'd love to hear it. Or if that fact alone completely breaks this theory into pieces for you, I'd also like to know. Another fun fact, actually, is while I was doing research for this, the god or goddess Chaos was actually, as time went on, they were actually changed from the god of Chaos to the god of elements and nature, which was actually kind of funny because one of the gods that it gave birth to was actually a god of nature, but what was funny is they eventually change it, saying, hey, Chaos is actually the god of nature, and that includes, fire, earth, plants, and even including water, which I always thought was funny because, in Sonic Adventure, Chaos is considered the god of chaos, and he's represented by water, which I thought was actually a really interesting fact. Which I don't really know if those two comparisons actually connect, but I thought it was really cool, so I thought I'd share it with you guys. But anyway, that's all I really got to say. I am still participating in the live stream Sonic Forces debate. It'll be still on October 21st. The date was tossed around here and there, but I am pretty sure, like 90% sure, that it's still on October 21st. 3 p.m. Mountain Time, 2 p.m. Central Standard Time. And on as it goes. But anyway, I hope to see you guys there. This is the FizzWiz, and I hope you all have an amazing day.